Hello, my name is Father Jack Nuelle. I'm a Catholic priest and a La Salette missionary, and many of you know me as Uncle Jack, Father Jack, or just plain Jack. How about who? Brother Jack. Yeah, I forgot my brother Bob. Sorry for that one. I arrived in Madagascar, in an island off the southeast coast of Africa, back in 1966. And I told the people that my name was Jack. Well, that became a problem. They have neither the sound of J nor the sound of A in their language, so they couldn't say Yak. They say Yak, maybe Yak or Jacques. But then they said, well, let's give him a name in our language. It's simple and easy for us to pronounce and remember. They couldn't call me Jack, so they simply called me Rakutuari Lavabebe Kukua. What it means is the tallest guy around. Our congregation, the La Salette congregation, is based on an apparition of our Blessed Mother that took place in the French Alps on September the 19th, 1846, in near a little village called La Salette. And she was seen by two poor, uneducated children. Maximum was 11 years old and Melanie was 14. The children first of all saw a woman, they saw a woman surrounded by a great light, and she was seated on a pile of rocks, and she was crying. They were fearful, and yet they were captivated. And as she rose, she spoke to them very gently. And she said, "Come near, my children. Do not be afraid. I have great news to tell you." They didn't know who she was, but just from the melodious sound of her voice, the children felt at ease, and so they came very near to her. They didn't know who she was, but they would always say she was the beautiful lady. I personally first heard about La Salette about a century later. I was just a kid, a youngster, and I was intrigued by the dialogue that went on between Mary and the children. The beautiful lady spoke of how people no longer gave God any part of their lives. And she brought a message, a hopeful message for a better future for people if only they would listen. And she ended her message with the words, "Well, my children, you will make this known to all my people." And ever since then, the La Salette congregation was started, brothers, sisters, and priests. And they were there to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, but bolstered by those words that Mary gave in her message. I don't have time to go over that message with you at the moment. I invite you someday to look it up and see what it was. But they went to over 30 different countries in the world to bring that message. And one of them was Madagascar. Now, the story of American La Salettes working in Madagascar began in 1921 when two young American La Salette priests went to Madagascar to help out with the ministry there. And 7 years later, the Vatican asked them to open up a new mission on the harsh western coast of Madagascar, a place that was inhabited by the marginalized Sakalava tribe. And their home base would be a little small village on the Indian Ocean called Morondava. Morondava, if you take in their language, it means Long Beach, but it was nothing like what you find in California. Father Donald Pelletier, a fellow La Salette priest, had arrived in Morondava in 1958, and he faithfully served the people there for 64 years. I joined him and other La Salettes, American La Salettes, in 1964, and I spent 30 years there living, serving, preaching, bringing help to people who seemed to be without hope. In some mission countries, airplanes became a useful means of ministry. allowing people to go to places otherwise unreachable to them. I was a pilot. Have you ever heard of S&H green stamps? Yes, some of you did, some of you didn't, okay? Today, when you buy something with a credit card, they give you reward points or maybe cash back, something for what you have spent. Well, back in the 1960s, people didn't have credit cards. And so what the merchants did to draw in the people to their places, they would give them these stamps. There's green stamps, there were top value stamps, there were eagle stamps, there were so many of them. Everybody collected stamps. So if you had to fill up your car with gas, they would give you some stamps. You went to the grocery store to buy things, they'd give you stamps. You went to the drugstore to pay for your medicine, they'd give you stamps. Everybody collected them. And when you had collected enough, then there was a book out, and you could look and see what can I get for this? Maybe it's a toaster for the kitchen. Maybe it's new bath towels. Perhaps it was a commodity, certain commodities like beauty products for women. Well, the S&H Green Stamp Company heard that we might be looking for a plane, and so they came to us with a sort of a contract, and they said, you collect 4,000 books of S&H green stamps and we'll give you an airplane. 4,000 books. Well, 4,000 is a number that you might be able to get, but when you stop to think that there's 1,200 stamps in every book, that's 4,800,000 little bitty stamps. And we said, wow, this is not going to be possible. But we got friends and relatives and all kinds of people, church groups and everything else to help us out. And with that, what happened 6 months later? We had an airplane. Those little bitty stamps. Over a period of 10 years, beginning in 2012, with Bishop Donald, he was in Madagascar at that time, and I was 10,000 miles away here in the United States. And the two of us decided to co-write a book about the efforts and the inspiration and that of our fathers that had worked in Madagascar for over 100 years. And we published that book to bring that to people's attention. Often special events are a catalyst that generate otherwise hidden potential. Cancer stopped my being a missionary in Madagascar. And Bishop Donald was here in the United States on a vacation, and someone hit him as he was crossing the road, and he was accidentally killed. Another one. What's going to happen there to the legacy that we had left? And yet, each and every one of those things was a stimulus for people who began to ask themselves, what can we do to help keep this legacy alive? Is there some way we can participate in that? And help in that legacy of hope, the legacy of enthusiastic mission service to the poor. Well, there was a spark that was lit at the time of Bishop Donald's funeral. I said the Mass for a funeral and buried him. But there was a spark that was lit with other people. And that came to a burning flame when 4 of us from the United States, now Greg was there, one of them, myself, Father John Sullivan, and one of our friends, La Salette associates from Enfield, John Markowitz. And we went over to Madagascar to dedicate a new school in a village where there had never been a school before, to dedicate that in honor of Donald and his life and his legacy. And so what happens is we came back and he said, yes, that spark is now aflame. Let's keep it burning. And so all of this became a means of bringing together this organization called Our Lady of La Salette Charitable Legacy. Our Lady of La Salette Charitable Legacy. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But what we did for the website is we took that long phrase, Our Lady of La Salette Charitable Legacy, and we brought it down to just Our Lady. And the date of 19th of September, we brought that down to 9/19. And so tonight we're here recognizing that Our Lady 9/19 is a way that we have to be able to reach out and help other people. Give them hope in their sufferings to our marginalized brothers and sisters. Remember that 4,800,000 little bitty stamps? Well, every one of those was necessary to get that plane. And we have a goal of $2 million in a few years, $2 million to be put aside to form a legacy that will be able to help these people for many years to come. I won't be around. Bishop Donald isn't around anymore. But we want to have something to leave to help them in their need. And so we thank you for helping us. And with your help, that legacy, that seemingly impossible legacy, will be formed. I thank you all for being here this evening. God bless you.